The Hammerhead Shower Filter looks like it's trying to be a more serious alternative to the typical shower filters you see all over Amazon. It has a mostly metal body, a simpler media design, and a lot of marketing around chlorine reduction to provide softer hair and smoother skin. So the big question is, does it actually work to improve shower water quality? I bought the Hammerhead shower filter, installed it in a Colorado home, and put it through the same testing process I use for every shower filter review on this channel. That included third-party lab testing for disinfection byproducts and hardness, on-site chlorine testing, flow rate testing, and a full breakdown of its design, maintenance, setup, and company policies. At the time of this review, the Hammerhead shower filter sells for about $110 up front, which is actually $10 more than what I paid for it just a couple months ago. Replacement cartridges cost $34.95 each, and using their recommended replacement schedule of every 3 months, that works out to about 2.4 cents per gallon, or about $139 a year in maintenance costs. So this is neither the cheapest nor the most expensive shower filter I've tested. It kind of lands in the middle. So how is this one different from all the rest? Well, like others, it's an inline shower filter, which means it's installed upstream of your existing shower head instead of replacing the shower head entirely. Inside the cartridge, Hammerhead uses two main filter media, KDF55 and calcium sulfite. That combination is commonly used in shower filters and is clearly meant to target chlorine reduction, which is what the brand emphasizes most in its marketing. The all-metal housing is one of the main selling points they're promoting this one for. It also comes in a bunch of finish options and has a rotatable cartridge concept that's supposed to help extend filter life. There are a few things that I genuinely like about the Hammerhead shower filter. First, flow rate retention was excellent, and in our testing, it basically preserved the full unfiltered flow rate, which isn't always the case. Second, the mostly metal housing is a real differentiator. It feels sturdier and more premium than the usual shower filters that have a plastic housing with metal-looking spray finish. Third, I like that it lets you keep your own shower head or use whichever one you like. It was also easy to install, easy to service, and the ongoing maintenance cost is pretty reasonable, just like most other shower filters. And finally, Hammerhead has excellent warranty and returns policies, which gave it the strongest company score I've seen so far in this category. The problem is that the actual filtration performance was underwhelming in our testing. It's not officially certified for performance or material safety. And while it did reduce chlorine, it was by less than I'd hoped, and it didn't do well with the other main shower water issues, which I'll talk about more in just a sec in the lab results section. So now let's talk about our testing process. I started by taking a baseline sample of unfiltered water directly from the shower. Then I installed the Hammerhead filter, screwed my shower head onto that, flushed it for about 1.5 minutes, ran all my flow rate in chlorine testing, and then finally collected a post-filtration lab sample. And we're now scoring shower filters differently from drinking water filters. I'm not focusing on every contaminant that matters for ingestion, but rather I'm looking at the things that matter most in the shower: DBPs, disinfectant residual, and water hardness. So now let's look at our lab results, starting with disinfection byproducts, or DBPs. This is one of the most important things I look at in shower water because DBPs pose more of a risk in the shower. These are carcinogenic chemicals that can be both inhaled and absorbed through the skin. So if a shower filter is really going to improve shower water quality, I want to see evidence that it can actually address this group of contaminants. In our unfiltered shower water, our lab test detected 3 DBPs: bromoform at 8.24 parts per billion, bromodichloromethane at 2.12 ppb, and dibromochloromethane at 4.67 ppb. After filtration, all 3 were still present, and in fact, all 3 had increased in concentration. Bromoform increased by nearly 52%, bromodichloromethane by 32%, and dibromochloromethane by 47%. Now, I do not think the filter itself is somehow adding DBPs to the water. More likely, this is just normal variation in the incoming water between when we took the baseline samples and filtered samples. But either way, the main takeaway here is that the Hammerhead shower filter did not provide any meaningful reduction of disinfection byproducts. And honestly, that's not surprising based on the media used. KDF and calcium sulfite can be great for chlorine, but neither is capable of reducing DBPs. So speaking of chlorine, this is what Hammerhead is really marketing this product around, and what most shower filters are actually capable of addressing. A lot of people are sensitive to it, and it can contribute to skin dryness, irritation, and depending on the amount in the source water, make it smell like you're showering in a swimming pool. Our baseline test showed 1.68 parts per million of chlorine in the unfiltered water. After filtration through the Hammerhead, chlorine dropped to 0.77 ppm, which is a 54.17% reduction. Now let's talk about hardness. Hard water is not normally a major health concern, but it can absolutely matter in the shower from an aesthetic perspective. It can leave your skin feeling dry or sticky, make soap work less effectively, and contribute to dry or rough feeling hair. It can also exacerbate existing skin conditions like eczema for some folks. Our baseline water had a total hardness of 250 parts per million, and after filtration, total hardness was actually a little higher at 254 ppm, a slight 1.5% increase. To be fair, unlike many other shower filter brands, Hammerhead doesn't make claims or insinuations about being able to address hard water. So again, considering the KDF and calcium sulfite media used in the filter, this result is not surprising. But I think it's still important to test and talk about, because a lot of people who are shopping for shower filters are trying to address issues that are actually caused by hard water. So if that's one of your main issues, check the description where I'll link up my video on the best way to actually soften hard water for just one shower. And if this kind of data-driven review and analysis is helpful for you, give this video a like and let me know in the comments which shower filter I should test next. Now let's talk about how the Hammerhead shower filter achieved an overall weighted score of 7.45. It earned a low 6 for contaminant reduction, which is the category that matters most. For shower filters, my contaminant reduction score is based on DBPs, disinfectant residual, and hardness. In this case, the filter showed no meaningful DBP reduction, no meaningful hardness reduction, and only a moderate chlorine reduction, with 0.77 ppm still remaining post-filtration. The lack of performance certification also pulled the score down, resulting in low 6s in all subcategories. Filtration rate was the Hammerhead's best category by far, where it scored a perfect 10. Our baseline flow rate was 1.72 gallons per minute. With the filter installed, flow rate was 1.71 gallons per minute, with dynamic PSI essentially unchanged, showing this was a true apples to apples comparison. That means it retained 99% of baseline flow, which is excellent. The Hammerhead filter scored 8.10 for design. Its mostly metal housing feels much sturdier and more premium than all the other plastic shower filters that are so popular. I also like the inline format because it lets you keep your existing shower head instead of forcing you into a combined filtered shower head design. That said, there are a couple of trade-offs. One is that it drops your shower head height a few inches, which could matter if you're tall or already dealing with limited shower clearance. The other is that despite the premium metal construction, there's still no material safety certification or lead-free design certification to back that up. So overall, I do think this is a better built than average shower filter, but the lack of certifications pulled the score down. Setup was very straightforward, and the Hammerhead earned a 9. The instructions were clear, and in our test, hand tightening worked just fine, although the brand does recommend using a wrench. There were 3 potential leak points at the threaded connections, but we didn't have any leaks or issues. So overall, as is the case with most shower filters, this was an easy install with no issues. The Hammerhead shower filter scored a 9.5 for maintenance. There's only one cartridge to replace, and the replacement process is simple. You just remove the lower housing, swap the cartridge, reassemble, and flush it again. Assuming an average filter replacement schedule of every 3 months and filter replacement cost of $34.95, we calculated an ongoing maintenance cost of 2.4 cents per gallon. I also like the rotatable cartridge concept. Being able to rotate it after a few months is a nice idea and helps distinguish it from its competitors. Hammerhead scored a high 9.7 for company policies, which is one of the best company scores I've seen. The biggest strength here is the warranty. Hammerhead offers a lifetime warranty for the original purchaser, which is a strong signal that they believe in the durability of the product. The return policy is also excellent. There's a 90-day satisfaction guarantee, which is much better than what a lot of other brands offer. Shipping terms are solid too, with free shipping over $50 in the US. So at the end of the day, the Hammerhead shower filter looks and feels more premium than other shower filters, but its performance was a bit of a flop. The build quality is much better than average, flow retention was excellent, and Hammerhead's warranty and returns policy are among the best I've seen in this category. But when I test a shower filter, the first thing I care about is whether or not it makes a meaningful difference to shower water quality. And in this case, the Hammerhead filter unfortunately just didn't do enough, so I wouldn't recommend it because there are better options out there. If you want to see the best shower filters I've tested so far, or learn how to actually soften hard water for just one shower, stick around and watch the next videos coming up right now. Click or tap to keep watching.